This is the example I like to use when I talk about more abstract art. And granted, it's not the most abstract, as in it's not like literally a blank canvas with a line through it that's asking you to like do all this work to understand it, but it's more withholding than something that's, you know, laid out nice and pretty to understand at a first glance. I use this as an example because it's kind of like one of those things where at first glance it might look kind of impenetrable, right? And not really worth your time because it's like just a bunch of letters. It doesn't mean anything. But if you sit with it for a second and just have a look, see what your eyes can kind of find, be patient, something starts to reveal itself, right? It's almost like it demystifies itself the longer you spend with it. I think that's really cool. And it shows an active relationship between the text and the viewer, you know? If you're willing to show up for it and meet it halfway, it will reveal itself to you. And at the very least, you will have made some kind of introspective leap to find some kind of meaning that ends up being hopefully beneficial in terms of your own self-development. So let's say you didn't end up deciphering that it wraps around, right? You could just look at it and then ask yourself, why would someone put a poem like this? Or why would someone do this, right? And asking that question is a form of meaning making, right? We talk about good feeling, we talk about meaning making. So that's like how you understand the world and I guess fundamentally how you understand things in general, right? And if you refine that skill, because it is a skill, I just think that that can help you in like a whole bunch of different areas of your life. Because what you're doing is honing a type of finesse, the ability to pay careful attention, the ability to make connections and to like seek patterns and make like informed decisions about that, introspective decisions. How is that not completely transferable and applicable to so many other areas of life? Work, school, relationships, family stuff, friend stuff. If you're able to display a finesse here, then you can absolutely transfer that elsewhere. And I think that's cool. You know, it's not a magic bullet, but it's like something that can be trained and improved, which I think is really, I don't know, encouraging. Flex says the first word I found was sore and that could not be more relatable. That's so funny. See, what you're doing there is making meaning. And fundamentally, making meaning is literally what it means to be alive. I just think that's really cool. To create something that becomes like a collaboration between a text and a viewer, you end up kind of being implicated in the art. You become a part of the art. And that rhymes. But I just think that's really, I don't know, it's nice. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. And that's the kind of thing that abstract art can do for you, perhaps a little bit more intensely than I guess something that's more straightforward, right? And when I say straightforward, I mean something that's written out in kind of decipherable lines like this phantom. Though still, this is pretty abstract because it doesn't actually give the game away. But, you know, it's set out in lines that can be read pretty straightforwardly. Punchstring says, I thought I was looking at a calendar this whole time. I can see that, actually. I might need to smoke less. That's amazing. Poetry.